Good afternoon, everyone, and you're very welcome to Thrive's first webinar of 2026 in collaboration with the district societies on this Blue Monday. And it does look a bit miserable out there, so maybe this is the best thing for us all to be doing today. My name is Dee France, and myself and the team here at the Institute look after all things wellbeing. Thrive provides a host of wellbeing supports to our members and our students, including confidential listening service, counselling with a professional therapist, wellness coaching, and webinars and events such as this. So you're all very welcome. So before I hand over to Fiona, our main speaker, I'm delighted to introduce you to our district and global member manager, Gillian Duffy, to tell you about the work that she oversees across the country and beyond internationally through all of our district societies. So Gillian, over to you.
Thank you, Dee, and welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today. It's a difficult month for everybody, and apparently today is the most challenging day of the month. So it's great to see so many people taking some time out for some self-care and well-being. We have a lot of people joining us, which is great. We have people from Ireland, the UK, and overseas, which is fantastic. And as always, Dee, it's a pleasure to collaborate with you and the team. This is one of many collaborations that the District Societies does, and it's always great to work with yourselves. So look, I just want to take a moment. I don't want to keep you between you and Fiona. I know we're all looking forward to today's session, and it's going to be great, Fiona. I've no doubt we'll all have plenty of nuggets to take away that will help us get through these next few weeks and onwards. So look, I just wanted to share some of the events and the activities that the district societies provide for our members. I know that a lot of members would be familiar with their district societies, but there's many that wouldn't necessarily be. So just to remind all the members that there is always a lot going on in terms of activities and events. So wherever you are, whatever location you're in, we have a really successful series of events across all societies, and that is from Christmas lunches, which many members will be very familiar with. But we also have lots of other social events. We have family events, careers evenings. We have, budget updates. So a really wide range from social events to technical events. And we also work closely with our students. And we also provide a voluntary service, CAVA, which is Chartered Accountants Voluntary Advice. So you can see there on the screen that we are absolutely everywhere. So no matter where you go, you will definitely find a chartered accountant, and you will definitely find an event that you can go to. I've just put up some visuals of events that happened last autumn and winter, just to give you some visual highlights from the events that took place. You can see Pamela speaking there, our president speaking at an event in New York. We have groups of members enjoying various activities. And images really just to capture the essence of our vibrant chartered accountants community worldwide. So look, I won't keep you any longer. I'll just finish up by saying that if you would like to get more involved or find out more about what events are happening in your area, or indeed volunteer for Chartered Accountants Voluntary Advice, please contact me or a member of our team. And also, if you'd like to get involved with your local society and find out how to join a committee or a subcommittee, again, please reach out. We're always here. We would be delighted to support you. So that's it for me, Dee. I will hand back to you, and we can all start to enjoy today's session. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thanks a million, Gillian. And yeah, the District Society Network is just absolutely fabulous. It's kind of the heart and soul, really, of the Institute. There's so much that's going on in that space. So really encourage everybody to get in contact with Gillian and the teams. So now to introduce Fiona. So Fiona is not a stranger to the Institute. We were trying to work out the year and we still haven't worked it out, but it was a number of years ago, we think during COVID, that Fiona came along and delivered a really heartfelt, very important session for everybody during those kind of very dark days of the early COVID years. Fiona is an acclaimed clinical hypnotherapist with a constantly busy online clinic, I have no doubt. She is a three-time best-selling author, The Positive Habit, The Self-Love Habit, and her latest book, Sleep Well. Fiona is a regular on News Talk, a TEDx speaker, and appears regularly in the mainstream media, where she is an ambassador for positive thinking and well-being. So, Fiona, you're very welcome. I know we're going to try and fit in some questions at the end. We may or may not get to do that, but we would encourage you to kind of treat this more like a kind of a workshop where you're maybe not just sort of sitting back and relaxing, but you really kind of maybe take a pen and paper in your hand and get involved in some of the exercises that we're going to do. Before we kick off, I know, Fiona, you have a little bit of a sweetener for our audience today, so I might hand over to you to just explain. We're going to be picking a name at random, and somebody will be getting something at the end of the talk, so stay tuned for that. So I'll hand over to you, Fiona, and you can take it away. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Dee. Thank you, thank you. I am absolutely delighted to be here. And the sweetener that Dee mentioned is basically this is an interactive workshop. So I want you to really give as much as you can because you will, when you give, you receive. And essentially, I have a free course for one of you. My 5-star online course, A Positive Habit, will be gifted to one of you who comments. So this is just a little carrot for you to really engage with the workshop. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to actually ask you all to stand up, right? It's Blue Monday. Don't have to be blue. We can be happy, we can be yellow, we can be any color that we like. We can choose to really embrace January with an open and positive mindset. So the first thing is just to stand up wherever you are. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths. So essentially, we're going to coordinate our breath with our movement. And this is going to help you in terms of getting into your body and out of your head. So when you're ready, just take a full inhale in, just following me with your arms raising up. And then when you exhale, you're just going to allow your arms to fall back down. We're going to do that 2 more times. Breathing in. And then exhaling out. Calming the nervous system and beginning to get focus, which is what we need for this session. Breathing in. All the way up to the top. And then a lovely, long, smooth exhale out. Really slowing it down as you exhale fully. Really, really nice. I promise I'm not going to get you doing a yoga class, but I just want to show you the power of coordinating your breath and how it helps to really slow things down and really make the most of this time. This time is for you and you are going to benefit from it greatly. So the agenda for today is the meditation to ground us was simply just that. It doesn't have to be a long thing sitting on a rock in the middle of Bali maybe, but it can be something you can do during the day just to really reset and kind of connect to yourself. We're going to look at something very, very important, which is really going to help you with this whole idea of 1 word, 1 year, and setting your intention for 2026. So the power of single focus is what we're going to be looking at. Then I'm going to be looking to you to choose your word for the year. And I'm going to really help you with this with some prompts. And this is where I really encourage the chat function, that we want to share as much as we possibly can, because when we share, we actually, first of all, we become more accountable to our word and more likely for us to carry that out. And the second thing is you really help other people. And it's all about lifting each other up. It's all about being there as a community. And this Thrive community in the Chartered Accountants is something obviously that is really, really positive. And we want to maximize that as we start the year. We're going to get specific then, because it's all great to have this positive mindset, etc., and it is important, but you also need to be really practical. And I always work on those 2 levels. I have a very much sense of, our emotional well-being, but we also need to be incredibly practical. So we're going to look at 3 goals, and I'm going to help you to start to be clear on how you want to actually set 3 goals in 3 different areas of your life. So the first one is your personal, and this is really looking at your health goal. Then we're going to look at a relationship in your life, and you're going to just choose 1 relationship that you actually want to focus on. And it's not that the other relationships in your life are not important, but there's times in our lives, depending on what stage we're at, maybe you're in your 30s, your early 40s, whatever age you are, there's different stages of our lives, and quite often because of those different stages, we need to be quite clear on what it is that we're trying to focus on. So it could be a relationship, maybe a partner, it could be maybe a child that you know that you're bringing up. It can be any one relationship that you want to really focus on. Then we're going to look at professional. It could be the relationship with yourself, which actually a lot of people choose, and that's very, very important. In fact, the most important of all. I did write a book called The Self-Love Habit. We're going to look at a professional goal, and this is your potential, if you like, really getting clear on what it is that you want to bring into your work in 2026. Then I'm going to share with you you've probably heard of the term a vision board, but I'm going to look at an action board because it's kind of a mix of the two, but it's much more practical because you start to see what actions you can take through your word, and remembering that your word is the lens of which you're looking at all of these goals and your actions. Then I'll do a quick positive visualization of the year ahead and how to maintain focus. So it's all, as I said, about this single focus, which we're going to talk about. And then I want to just maybe share with you some of how the positive habit can help you in 2026. So before we get into that, I'm going to tell you a little story. I wonder, does anyone recognize this figure on the screen right now? Anyone in the chat, let me know. Do you know who that might be? It's not your granddad? Definitely not. It's someone from a very long time ago, and it is indeed Andrew Carnegie. So maybe some of you know the story, but essentially Andrew Carnegie was a Scottish immigrant, and he left Scotland at the age of 12 to go on one of those unbelievable immigrant ships across to America. And what happened is he, as you will know, became one of the most wealthy tycoons that the world has ever seen. And he also was an incredibly kind philanthropist who gave so much back to the world. You don't have to look far and you'll see his name above the public library, etc., the housing. He gave so much. So what happened was when he was a young guy, he was working in the steel business, and he started to see how he could build his own wealth and his own empire. And as he was doing this, the IRS, the tax, which I'm sure you will know a lot more about than I do, but the IRS started to be concerned about who was this Andrew Carnegie, this poor immigrant who'd come over and was accumulating such wealth. So what they did is they started to investigate, and they looked into all of his files and all of his accounts, and they couldn't find anything that was not above board, but they still were not satisfied. So they brought him in for a questioning. And Andrew Carnegie arrived, and he was incredibly calm and centered. And he said, well, if you want to know my secret for my huge wealth, he said, I can tell you. And they said, yes, we want to know, like, where is this coming from? And he said, I have the power of single focus. I can focus on one thing at one time for 5 minutes. And they were like, that's it. And he said, yes. He said, that's it. And they were like, I'm sorry, but we don't believe this. That just seems, silly, or, and he said, why don't you try it now? So he asked them to do it. And of course, these men back then, this group of accountants, they actually were not able to focus on one thing at one time. Their minds started to go here, there, and everywhere. So a lot of my work is helping people to actually really apply the power of single focus. And when you do, it's actually quite incredible what you're capable of, what we're all capable of. So you can see here the picture of the candle. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to set my timer for 1 minute. I'm not going to ask you to do 5, but I am going to ask you to do 1. And all I want you to do is just notice. And I also ask you to not judge yourself if you're good at this or bad at this. But I want you to see the tip on the screen of the wick of the candle. I just want you to focus on that one place for 1 minute. And I'm going to set my timer, and I'll let you know when that minute is up. So let's go. Okay, there we go. That's a minute. Wow. So please let me know in the chat. Lost focus, says Jane. So let me know, how did you find that? Because why is it so important? What's so important about this? Well, when you practice single focus, you're able to really listen to others. You're able to really carry out what it is that you want to achieve, whatever that might be, one of the three goals. You're able to be fully present here and now. And it's so helpful in terms of any anxiety or stress. Very hard to keep focusing, difficult. Yes, hello. Thanks so much, Orla. Thank you. Hard, but my mind wandered. Did not lose focus, but was smiling throughout because felt an actual push from my brain to start looking at other things. Thank you, Zanib. Exactly. What it actually does is it kind of, even though it's hard, and I totally appreciate that, it actually creates a sense of peace and calm, and that's what we need. There was a lovely one there about could hear the birds and the water flowing down the pipe outside. Lovely. You are great. I love all these. Thank you so much. It forced a self-check-in, says Jennifer. Very helpful and very honest. Managed it, but was tough. Yeah, you're not alone, Joan. Absolutely. Actually, a bit relaxing at times, says Anne-Marie. I'm delighted to hear that. Absolutely. And it's going to be a mix of all these things. But just notice how powerful it is. Refreshing, says Amy. I'm delighted to hear that. John drifted in and out of focus. Even little background noises came to the fore. Yeah, absolutely. Niall says the flame looked like it was slightly moving. I know that can happen as well. It's amazing. It's just a still image, but the mind can start to visualize it like it's a real image. A little difficult, but quite peaceful and calming. Thank you, Claire. This is great, and thank you so much for all your feedback. All your messages. It's really, really helpful. So we're going to move on to the next slide here, which is a quote from our good friend, Andrew Carnegie. And I think we're all motivated now to practice single focus, looking at what he was able to achieve in his lifetime. So here he says is the prime condition of success. Concentrate your energy, thought, and capital exclusively upon the business in which you are engaged. Having begun on one line, resolve to fight it out on that line, to lead in it, adopt every improvement, and have the best machinery and know the most about it. So there is a really clear guide in terms of how, when you start something out, so many people give up. And what's really happening is that they're becoming frustrated that they're not seeing the results they want quick enough. So patience, that's what single focus teaches us. It teaches us to be patient. It teaches us to be kinder to ourselves when our mind does wander. It's completely normal. But can you gently bring it back to whatever it is that you're focusing on? So we move on to basically looking at your word. And this is the single focus that I'm talking about. So you are going to choose a word. I have chosen mine already. I was saying to Chris at the start that I've been really, and Gillian, and that I've been really focusing on this myself. Like everything I'm sharing with you, I am practicing myself, and I'm finding it already so beneficial. So my own personal word for the year is gratitude, and I'm really being very single focused about that. I'm learning more about it. I'm learning what works, what doesn't work, and the science of it. I'm really digging deep into gratitude. But you need to find your word, and what happens is that this word becomes a lens of which you look at everything else in your life. You take that single focus of the word and you bring it in to those three different goals. So to help you with this, right, to get a little bit more clarity, we want to look at what do you need more of. So just in the chat here, you can just maybe say, what do you need more of in your life right now? And that exercise will actually help us. And what do you need to improve or find hard to cultivate? So personally, I chose gratitude because I have found it hard and I found it confusing because sometimes it can feel forced or it can feel toxic. And that's why I wanted to understand it more deeply. So Aidan says resilience, Jane says compassion, Orla, acceptance. These are all amazing words. Presence, calm and grounded, absolutely. More simplification, patience. I think we all need that, Anastasia. Thank you for sharing. Balance, Bernadette says more time, peace, organization. You guys are fantastic. Rest, says Anne. I'm exhausted. I'm sorry to hear that, Anne, and it's good that you know you need more rest. Focus, self-care, says Colette. Forgiveness, great. So I want you to remember these words because they're coming to you. And you're going to hold on to that word, right? You're going to remember Owen says presence, Jinan, kindness, compassion, patience, brilliant. These are all so, so helpful. And you're beginning to see something important, which I love about my work and doing these kind of workshops, is that you see you're not alone. You see that other people are also struggling with things that you are struggling with. And it sort of takes away any sense of feeling bad about it, that it's all part of being human. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually help you. If you've got your word, great, but let's just take a little bit more time with this to make sure that we get it right. So here is a list of different words that actually kind of are connected into certain areas of what you might need right now. So what I'm going to do is you are going to take some time to actually bring that single focus. You're going to close down your eyes and I'm just going to simply read these words. And if one of them really stays with you, I want you to hold on to that word and just maybe that's the word for you. So there's no pressure to get this immediately, but just let's work with it slowly together. So calm, if calm and inner peace are something you're looking for in 2026, if you're craving steadiness, rest, and nervous system regulation, could your word be calm, peaceful, gentle, spacious, or present? If you're looking to be more grounded and aligned, for people seeking stability, clarity, and inner direction, could your word be grounded, rooted, aligned, intentional, balanced? If you're looking for contentment and connection, for a year where you're focused on having enough, appreciation, and emotional fulfillment, could your word be content, connected, gratitude, open, or trusting? If maybe you want to develop more confidence and inner strength, for building a sense of quiet belief and emotional resilience, could your word be confident, resilient, whole, or authentic? And for those looking maybe for nourishment and vitality, for honoring energy, health, and curiosity for life, could your word be nourished, vital, or curious? Okay, lovely. So you could open your eyes, write down the word, one word, and remember we've got to be really clear and really specific on that word. The first one that comes to us is generally the one that's going to be the one that is right for us. So just write that word down now as we move on to the next exercise. So we're going to visualize, as I said, 2026 through the lens of this word. And we want to get specific with our goals. So we're going to have 3 goals, 1 word. So I'm going to give you time now to actually execute this here and now because I'm aware of how busy people are. And I was saying to Dee, earlier on another call how, when you read a self-help book, there's great exercises in it, but often we just don't have the time. We say, I'll do that later. But this is actually for you to take the time to do this now so that you have it in the bank, if you like. You're not trying to find extra time for it. So we're going to look at your personal goal, your health and well-being goal. Okay, and I want you to remember you're looking at it through your word. I'm going to give you 1 minute basically again to journal this. And the questions there: how can my word better support my overall health for my 2026? How can your word be the one that will help you feel healthier, allowing you to feel healthier? And what small shift could you make that would have the biggest difference? So it's about choosing something small that has the biggest difference. So to give you an example, my health and well-being goal is actually, I am very grateful and very blessed that I'm going to Bali to train as a yoga teacher. And to be very, very specific, there is a pose that I want to do. It's called the wheel pose. You'll see a picture of it and you'll see just how challenging it is. But that is my goal. And if I can do that by the end of 2026, I'm going to be happy in terms of working towards something. So just to give you an example from my own life. Okay, so I'm starting your minute. Let's get journaling. Just a couple of seconds left. You're doing great. And there we go, a minute. It probably went a lot faster than when we were looking at the candle. But do start the chat, keep it going. You've been so good here. Let's keep the engagement going, because when you write it down, like I said, you're more likely to take action on it. So what is your personal goal for health and well-being in 2026? Is it that you want more exercise, your nutrition? Is it improving your sleep? Like, what area are you focused on? And let's see how your word can help you with that. So keep the chat going. Ramaya says, can intentional also mean discipline? I would say I'd say intentional is probably a kind of more positive and inspiring word, to be honest, Ramia, because discipline can feel a little bit like, kind of restrictive, maybe. That's just an idea. Anne Marie, thank you for sharing. To improve my eating habits and to feel my body better. Okay, brilliant. So think of your word and how that's going to help you with that goal. So you start to bring that single focus in. Keep them coming. Jill, keep up the exercise, work of nutrition. I need to keep up my motivation. Okay, so great, Jill, thank you. More simple exercises, Eamon, to be more grateful and present. Okay, remember we're looking at health goal, to become stronger and more in tune with my body. That's beautiful, Aviva. To feel connected with myself and how my body is feeling. Great. Alan, welcome. To continue gym and exercise, work and nutrition. And that's brilliant. That can be a good way to sustain. Like, you're obviously in a good place. Anya, restorative sleep. Anya, if you need help with that, I can let me know and I'll send you an audio to help you with that. And personal goals, to eat healthy and strengthen my core through Pilates and walking. Brilliant. And what I love there is being specific. We've got Pilates, we've got walking. Brilliant. To reduce cholesterol, well done. Nourished is your words, Dia. Best food, best rest, more energy. Brilliant. Okay, so you can see how already we're starting to feel energized. Sleep and golf. Brilliant. Those are two great things. John, forgiveness will allow me to forgive my previous inaction. Yes, absolutely, John. That's a very good insight. Master handstands and yoga. Oh, Anne, my God, you'll be teaching me. That's amazing. My word is present. Thank you, Joan, for sharing that. To improve my nutrition and exercise by being present, I can nourish myself better and take action with exercise. Wonderful. So you can see how it's all starting to come together. So now we're going to do the next one. And this is our relationship goal. This is where you choose one person in your life. And it does not mean that other relationships are not important. But it's really like, what relationship do you need to improve, or what person in your life needs your love and focus most at this moment? So just to share with you, for example, last year was my mother for me. My father died just over a year ago. My mother needed a huge amount of support. So last year, my mother was my focus. Not that she still isn't. But this year, my son now, he's 18. He's doing his leaving cert, and he hopes to go to university in France. That's his dream. So my focus is to be very proactive in helping him. And when I have that in my mind, I'm very clear on not getting distracted or not getting too caught up with my own work to forget how much I need to help him as he goes through this. So those are just, again, I'm always sharing just to give you examples of how, what stage you're at in your life. It might be a friend that needs your help. It might be a boyfriend. It might be, who knows, but just choose one person. And again, I'm going to give you 1 minute. Let's go with this. 1 minute. Oh, all right. Starting now. Okay, we're coming up to a minute. It is interesting how much more quickly they go when you're focused on something like that. So let's get the chat going. Who is that person? Niall, thank you. Your wife, happy life. Good call, Niall. Yes. Partner, have daily 5 minute check ins, have boundary of phone use. Oh, that's lovely, Marie. And so true that when we're really present with people, it is the best gift we can give them rather than being distracted by our phones. John, your wife, she puts up with my work related absences and my singular focus and eventually supported me through severe mental illness, burnout. Oh, John, that's lovely and so gorgeous that you're aware of that and you want to give back to her now. That's really lovely, John. Thank you for sharing that. Eamon says, my sister needs my listening. Just notice how specific this is. Notice how this is like helping not just you, but it's reaching to all of these other people in your life. Jamie, your 13-year-old daughter, I'm sure absolutely needs a lot of help and ask and talk more rather than order. Good call, Jamie, with teenagers. Well done. Mary, your husband, we have young kids and need to be more intentional to spend time in our own relationship. Yeah, very well observed, Mary. And again, something many people fall into. So it's really good to acknowledge that and do something. And your 14-year-old daughter, gorgeous. Eva, your parents, lovely. Patricia, your mother. Dee says, ditch the phone, be more present. Michelle, daughter, who's doing her junior cert. Yeah. Jill, myself, lovely Jill. And that's a very valid person to choose, is yourself, and not to be hard on yourself. Thank you for sharing that, Jill. And I really, really wish you so much love for that and know that you can do that. Katrina says, my older son, Deirdre, you're with me here. Your son's doing the leaving cert as well. Yes, I find that's really helpful, getting them out, just into nature, go for a walk, no agenda, don't talk about it, just have a nice time together. Brilliant. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So now you're getting clarity, your own health goal, your relationship, and we're going to move on to the third one, which is your professional goal, your purpose and your direction. So how do you want your work to feel this year? Where do you want more meaning or purpose? And how would your word help you with this? So for me, for example, I love teaching, I love group work. And so my professional goal is to do more of this because I do a lot of clients, I do a lot of retreats, etc., but I really want to do more corporate work, so I'm focusing on that. So there again, I'm just sharing to help you to be clear in what it is that you want and what direction you want to go in. So let's go 1 minute starting now. Okay. There we go. The minute is up again. So let's see. I want to feel fulfilled and not consumed by my work this year. So balance maybe is the word there. John, to work to live and not to live to work. Absolutely. I want to feel fulfilled, productive, valuable, aiming to get back into the workforce post redundancy. Be resilient. I wish you the best with that, Eamon, and I'm sure it can happen for you. And stay focused and be more organized and work more efficiently. Lovely, Michelle. Thank you. So what's really good about what you're sharing here is we're getting very specific, and the more specific you are, the better. You'll notice from my examples that I'm being quite clear on exactly what it is. Want to be more organized? Like, let's be more specific. What does that actually look like? What area of your life do you want to be more, of your work, do you want to be more organized in? Is it reaching out, networking more? Is it which particular area is it? Structure in my day, so I'm not jumping from one task to another. Thank you, Deirdre. That's really helpful. And what will help you with that is the single focus, because it's very taxing on the brain when we try to multitask. And what we know now about the research from neuroscience is that none of us are multitasking. What we're doing is we're just switching really quickly, and that puts a lot of drain and exhaustion on our systems. Okay, so you're going back to the workforce part-time. Okay, great. Caring for your sick parent. Well, Jane, that's a real challenge, and absolutely, you're going to need to move through that gently. Returning from maternity leave, Anya, and trying to find my work self again, and figuring out what that looks like. Okay, lovely. That's very specific. Confidence to return to workforce. And again, you're not alone after being a stay-at-home mom, says Deirdre. Hello, Eva, to improve my time management. Again, specific. So what's lovely, again, is that you're putting this out into the world. And I can't tell you how effective it is in terms of sharing it. So you're doing brilliant. And I am genuinely grateful to you all for it. It just makes such a difference to the experience. So moving on, I'm going to show you how do you actually go from intention into action. So essentially, I'm going to show you my vision board now, right? And it looks great, right? It's very motivating. It is my home screen and has been since January the 1st. It's not too late. You can do this. You go into Canva, basically, is the tool that I use. It's not difficult. And you can just get a lot of pictures from your phone, from the internet, and you start to create an action board. So here we go. Are you ready? Here is mine. So I've got my health on the left-hand side, on my left. So you can see this is the pose that I was talking about. I'm nowhere near there yet. I've got Bali here, which I'm going to, as I said, I'm very, very excited. So this is really motivating and so full of gratitude. And I've got hiking and walking and being out in nature, which is what I want as well for my health. I have the word gratitude written in the middle, and what I've got there is a picture of my father, who really was someone who embodied gratitude, not just in a transactional thank you type of way, but very deep gratitude. So I have him there as a way to sort of bring that through to me. I have a picture of my son, and that is the proactive support. So not just being there for him, but being really proactive. So again, specific. And that is something I think that's so important. The more specific we are, the more likely it's going to happen. Then for my work, I have community. So community is something I want to always increase with a positive habit, which is my business. Writing, I want to do more writing. Speaking that I mentioned. And then I have myself and my husband, Kieran, who works with me, and we do sound baths. So that's another sort of visual. So when you see that laid out for you, it just gives such a lift, if you like. It is on my home screen. I'm seeing it every day, and it just keeps me on track visually and subconsciously. So what I would love for you to do is take some time, obviously not right now, but what I would love is that you take some time, go into one of these programs. Canva is very, very simple to use, and just sort of divide it into those 3 columns, put your word there, get it up on your home screen, and believe me, you've no idea how impactful and how helpful it is to see it each and every day. It's not about perfection. There are times when this is not going to happen, where I might not be grateful at all, where I'm not writing, where I'm not doing, these wheel poses. But that is not what matters. It's the fact that there is a kindness towards myself when I'm not doing them, and then the ability to be resilient and to bounce back and come and do them. So again, please do not take this as some kind of, perfect solution. But what it does is it keeps us motivated, and that is what we want. Okay, so I will just share with you briefly a little bit about some of the things Dee mentioned there in terms of the Positive Habit online course. So you've all commented it so much, so we're definitely going to choose one of you. I do corporate talks and trainings. I do free webinars every month. And next month on the 9th of February, we have a guest. Kieran's going to be hosting that because I'll be doing my wheel pose in Bali. And my Instagram, I'm really focusing on gratitude, so you'll find out more there. I have wind down sleep well sessions. I have a retreat coming up that is booked for the beautiful Belinter House. I don't know if you've been there, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I'll be doing yoga and meditation online as well. And I also do free monthly audios on Substack. So anyone who's struggling with sleep, please get in touch with me and I will definitely send you on something. Because so much of the work I do is about community, and it's about helping people at all levels of income. So there's lots there that I give for free, and then of course it goes up into different scales. So thank you for that. But I don't want to finish yet without sharing how can you maintain the single focus, because it's so important. One of the things that I practice myself and very, very helpful is the candle meditation. Start slow and build it up. So get a real candle, put it like sort of at the same level that your eyes are at. So you could be sitting down and you have it on a table or a shelf or something that's just at the same level. Focus on that little wick that I was showing you earlier and just set your phone like I did there for the exercises. It could be 1 minute, 2 minutes. Start to see, can you increase it? Start to notice what happens as you did. Some of you start to notice that it brings a calming sort of release and relief from the busy brain. So candle meditation is a great one to do. Affirmations on your word. So for example, I'm grateful for all that I have, etc. Your word, keep bringing it into your life. Action board is a home screen on your phone and PC. I cannot, I'm already just seeing it, how powerful it is. So I really recommend that. Write down the night before how you can activate each goal. So again, we're being really clear that single focus is coming through each night. So for example, maybe it's I want to get out for a hike tomorrow because that is on my intention. I'm going to go. It's, whatever the weather, I'm getting outside. And then I think what's really important to mention, is to stay open and flexible, that nothing is set in stone. Yes, we have single focus, but as we know, life can throw all sorts of things at us. And, it's not always possible to execute what we desire to do. The most important thing is that we are compassionate to ourselves when it's not going well. Things happen, people get sick, life changes, redundancies, all sorts of, there can be financial issues, there can be relationship, there can be so many things that come our way that we don't know or expect. And what we want is really to be flexible, to be open, and to be kind to ourselves in those moments. Keep your vision board, your action board there, and it will keep you on track. And it will keep you motivated, and it will help you to pick yourself up in the times that you might need it. So essentially, I want to thank you so much. I'm so proud. I'm delighted that I am actually coming in at just 1:15. But if there are questions, I'm happy to stay on another 5 minutes. Dee and Chris, if you are, there's no problem. And I can see some comments coming in here. So, hi Fiona, I have trouble sleeping at the same time regularly. I'm not sure what the reason for this is. I sleep very late due to being active later in the evening. I've tried everything to change from a night owl to a morning person, but nothing seems to work. I would be very grateful for your help. You can give. Well, you're touching on something that's really tricky there, Ramya, and it is hard to move from being a night owl to a morning person, but it is possible. It just takes time. the most helpful thing I can do, I have a copy here, is maybe you might go out and you can get it in the library, you can get it on Spotify, but this is my book, Sleep Well. And in that, I give a lot of really good practical lifestyle habits, but also the mindset around it, which I think is the most important, which I know is the most important around sleep. And there's audios that come with it. So I hope that might help you. Aviva says, such an inspiring session. I'm doing a vision action board this weekend. Yippee! I'm so happy to hear that. We'll definitely be incorporating topics from today, single focus in particular. Yeah, it's so powerful, isn't it? Thank you. John, suggest you consider Esmond redundant as winner. Okay. Yes, that's a lovely, sorry, that's a really nice thing to say, John, and so thoughtful of you. And I think that is a great idea if people are happy with that. Thank you, John. I'm definitely happy with that if you are. Colette, thank you for this. Has been really worthwhile and thought-provoking. I'm delighted. Can we get the slides, please? Yes, you can, Orla. 100%. I'd be delighted to share them. Thank you, Owen. You're very welcome. That was great. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Kate. I definitely will have a great time in Bali. Thank you. So listen, I am delighted and so happy to have been here for you. And any questions I was saying as well that might come in afterwards, you can email me through the Positive Habit as well. You're really, really welcome. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, Fiona. I'm just going to jump in quickly to say that's actually very timely that John very kindly suggested that we give Eamon, who's trying to be resilient and get back into the workforce after redundancy, the prize. So please, Eamon, will you get in contact with me, Dee France, at the Institute, so we can make sure that you get sent all the details about that. Fiona, that was just wonderful, absolutely brilliant. I think we've all taken something away. I'm certainly going to be implementing it. It's made me pause for thought and have a new kind of reset for the year ahead, which has just been really, really helpful and a great idea because we always have great intentions to do these things, but to actually force ourselves to do it in the moment when we're talking to an expert is just like, let's do it. It's brilliant. So look, we have run out of time. Everyone needs to go and grab their lunch before they get back into the afternoon. So don't be a stranger. Make sure you touch base with both the district societies, Thrive Wellbeing Hub, anyone else in the institute that you're talking to that can direct you over to anyone here in the team. And of course, Chris behind the scenes, thank you so much. Gillian, thank you so much for coming on at the beginning. Fiona, thank you so much. Fantastic session. We're all rooting for you to do the I think is it the wheel? Did you say?
Wheel, yeah,
We're all rooting for you. We want a picture at the end.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you
Have a
so much for
wonderful
having me.
time. Yeah, brilliant. And we'll be in touch again, and I'm sure we'll have you back before too long. So thanks everyone for joining. Absolutely brilliant session. Loved every minute of it. So take care of yourselves, and we'll see you at the next one. Thanks, Mil.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye
Bye,
bye.
everybody.